Hello, everyone! Welcome back to another episode of The Thoughtful Hour. Sobrang ganda ng intro music natin. Medyo napasayaw ako doon na. So for today's episode, we have another special guest. But before we introduce our guest, I like to call on my co-host, Sir Richie. Hello, sir!
Parang sobrang excited. Nakalimutan mo na ako i-introduce ha.
Nadala ko dun
yung guest bago ako.
nadala ko dun sa sir, sa music. Bagong vibe for Thoughtful Hour.
So we have a fun show coming up.
Go, sir.
Pero alam mo, nakakahalata na ako eh. Bakit pag mga mahilig sa fitness, yung pinapa-interview niyo sa akin, wala naman akong kinalaman dun?
Ay, nagkataon lang, sir. Ako rin, wala rin akong Alam niyo naman, kain-kain lang po tayo.
Pero in fairness, I'm really excited to be part of the show because our guest is an amazing person and someone really fun to talk to. She has some great stories that you guys are going to learn a lot from. Very inspiring as well. So, Pat, without further ado.
Yes, without further ado, live from La Union. Guys, as in super nakakainggit kanina, nakikita namin yung beach. We have Cassie Umali. Hello!
Hey guys, Casperation here.
Hello!
Yes.
Hi, Cass. How are you?
Nanginan ako kanina dun sa bagyong biglang dumaan eh. Doing excellent.
Alam mo,
Getting
guys,
some sun and rain at the same time.
I gotta say, kawawa kayo kasi hindi nyo nakita kanina si Cassie, naka-bikini yan. Nasa beach.
Oh, yes.
Hindi mo
It's
nakita.
live from the beach. Sayang. Kaso medyo, nag-start na mag-drizzle kaya wet look na si Cassie tuloy ngayon.
And there
Hindi
was
ko na
like some
matingka.
tech difficulties.
But if you go naman to her feed, you can see naman Cassie, she's not shy about the progress she's made in her body. So follow her on Instagram and her YouTube channel. And you have a Facebook page as well, right, Cass?
Yes, I have a Facebook page. It's Cassie Umali Official.
Yep.
So I post there my, workouts,
Right.
some recipes, our show, some of the vlogs that I used to do, and content to inspire people to get fitter and healthier. That's really my intention.
Okay. So I don't know.
Yes. So to all of our viewers there, we have listed the accounts here running below. You could check it out.
So I don't know if you've seen episodes of The Thoughtful Hour before, but it's pretty chill. Great. It's really chill. Pat is just gonna interrogate you. No. Just gonna ask questions. And, it's just more or less just simple kwentuhan with some friends and hoping that your stories will reach out to some of your viewers. And like your mission is to inspire people to, find ways to better themselves, whether it's through better wellness or physical practices. So you want to get started, Pat?
Yes, Cassie, are you ready? We prepared a few questions for you and then chika na lang from there.
Yes, as an athlete, always born ready.
Yes, I love it. Okay, let's hop on to the first question.
Are these questions from you guys or from viewers?
Oh, these are questions we prepared.
These are questions we prepared, but then we're going to be the feed is open to people who have questions for you. Then when they do have questions, we're going to bring it up live.
Okay, I think we're having a little technical difficulties, but I'll say the question first.
Wait, sorry. No, wait, before we go, just to a little bit. This is, do you know this guy by chance, Paulo Morato?
No.
No, okay,
but
all
he
right.
has beers on his icons. Cheers, man.
Cheers. Okay, great. Now, because
It's
that's my
happy hour,
cousin.
diba? Thoughtful hour
my
is happy
cousin.
hour.
Yeah, right. That's what I was gonna say. This guy's my cousin.
Beat
the
to it.
guy. He goes to the beach a lot because he's into windsurfing. So I thought by chance, baka you guys knew each other.
No, I just
Okay.
became a water baby.
All
So
right.
yeah.
Okay.
Did you
Are we done?
comment or something?
Here, actually, our deck is up
Okay,
again
cool.
here. So here's our first question. Have you always been interested in fitness? And tell us about your journey.
Yeah, because we've been wondering, Cassie. I mean, you don't really. This is something that fitness is a commitment, really, to get this sort of lifestyle, right? And so you don't just wake, you don't just all of a sudden want to become physically fit, and we just want to know on your end, what inspired you? What was the? Do you remember that moment? We've because watching you on your vlogs and your social media channel, this is really a big part of your life. So do you
That's
remember
it.
that moment when you realized that this is what I want to do?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been an athlete all my life. Started with baseball in the States. Then when I moved here, syempre, as a girl, it's volleyball. Played basketball with my dad and my brother when I was younger. And then after college, I started playing ultimate frisbee. Then because I was a sportscaster for ABS-CBN Sports, and kudos to them because they really were the launching pad for my career now. That I'm an influencer, YouTube fitfluencer, fitness blogger, and now I have a cooking show on YouTube as well. But it was really because of me starting out as a courtside reporter that really launched me into it. Because I was a sportscaster, I actually got into interviewing as being a co-host for ANC's Ultimate Sports Barkada. And during the time back in 2010, oh my gosh, exactly like a decade ago, it's crazy looking back on it. I interviewed the Philippine Volcanoes, so that's our national rugby team.
Right.
And
Mhm.
because of that, at the time, it was only a men's team. They didn't have a women's team yet. So they were championing year after year, but because no one knew of the sport of rugby, syempre, iba yung alam nila yung pag sinabi mong rugby. So, like, it's totally different. They don't know that it's a sport where you just tackle each other and you
Right.
have this oblong, ball, but you have to be super fit because it's an
Mhm.
80-minute game with no timeouts. It's only like a 10-minute halftime. It's kind of
Right.
like soccer, right? So I had interviewed the coach. They're like, yeah, we're putting up a women's team this year. And I had no interest in it whatsoever. But my boss at the time, Bill Velasco, who was our executive producer for the show, as I was co-hosting it, he goes, why don't you try out for the team, Cassie? Like, you could do it. And I'm like, I know nothing about rugby. And I
Mhm.
was like, okay, why not? They had Rugby 101 every Monday, and it was free, anyone who wanted to join. And since I already had football cleats from playing frisbee, I'm like, that's it. That's all I needed. I already had the gear. You didn't need anything else because they provided the rugby ball, and that's all you needed, right? So I joined my very first training session at Ultra, dun sa Phil Sports Arena in Pasig.
Mhm.
Smack into someone else because I wasn't looking and I was blindsided, and I got a bloody lip, and I didn't stop training since then. And and that really helped me increase my fitness. And fitness became a part of it because wanting to become part of the national team and serve the country, represent, you have to really perform at that high level as an
Right.
elite athlete. And if you don't take care of your fitness, all those other countries like Thailand, Singapore, China, Hong Kong, Japan, they're just gonna run circles around you.
Mm.
So that's where it came to me, where I'm like, you know what? I really have to do fitness outside of sports training. So people think that, oh, you're an athlete, you're already fit. Not all athletes are fit.
Right. Right. Right.
Like, honestly, or a misconception. Not all athletes are even healthy. Like
Mhm.
some
Mhm.
they'll do their fitness and whatever, but then they don't eat healthy. Like they'll still eat sisig at Icy's across the street at Ultra
Sarap
right
nun.
after, right? And honestly, I used to do that with my teammates before I became vegan. But then even along the way, I started, taking care of my health as well. Right after I became like my fittest self. So going into it, fitness really struck a chord with me when I had gotten sick while I was already on the national team. 2 years into me being part of the Philippine Lady Volcanoes, I had like a really bad strep sore throat, and I was out for 2 weeks. And 2 weeks of not doing any sort of physical activity whatsoever because I was like on bed rest. My fitness just dropped. It's as simple as that. Like, you don't do any sort of workout for 3 days, your fitness is going to drop. For a week, it's going to drop even more. And then I was out for 2-3 weeks. And I got back into training, and I was like, oh my gosh, hinahapo na ako. Like, I didn't like it because I was the one who was like the faster one on the team, in my peak shape. So that was the point in time where I said, I may not be the fastest on the team or the best at being a playmaker as you would in basketball, point guard or a quarterback in American football. I said, but the thing that I have that's in my control is my fitness. So I made it a point, and it became my goal to be the fittest on the team. And I started doing training at Gold's Gym, since they were our sponsor at the time. Like every day, I only had one rest day. Super fit and doing spinning classes, dance classes, and everything. So it was really fun. Yoga, started doing yoga just to get into the whole yin yang and flexibility. Because if it's all strength, if you don't have flexibility, then something's going to break. So it's important that you have strength and flexibility at the same time. And we did our yo-yo fitness testing, which it's what gauges us under our coach to figure out who's the fittest on the team, like from 1 to 30, who's the fittest, correct? And we did it together with the men's team at the same time because it's a beep test on the field. So you go back and forth. It's like suicides in basketball or like race planting.
Yeah.
But on the football field, and it gets faster and faster. As you're getting more tired, it gets faster and faster. You're going back and forth. So then, at the peak of my fitness, I had a 17.4, so that's really high. And to sort of have people or the audience gauge how fit I I basically beat half of the men's Volcanoes team. And they dropped out. So, yeah, so like in terms of the fitness testing, I was fitter in terms of like my cardio and able to last the longest on the field than half of the men's team. And then on our women's team, I was the only one left. So I was basically the fittest on the women's team.
And I've seen those guys from the Volcanoes. They are jacked. They are really ripped.
Yeah, that's it. Like, awesome. Of course, the muscles are really heavy, right?
Right.
Pound versus fat, it's heavier. But
tell me about it.
Yeah, but when they're running with that weight because it's muscle,
right.
Sometimes it pulls them down. Yes, they're stronger, and no doubt about it, they're stronger than you. They can own that. But I can really claim that for like half of the men's team, I was fitter than them, right? And that was the difference. And that's why I liked that test, because it went to show that even girls at a physical level, like we can, go head to head with the guys in something sort of a fitness testing.
Yeah, it leveled the playing field. It leveled the playing field.
Yeah. So, and that's it. And after that, I said, you know what? I reached my fittest self. And then I go, what can I do to, go higher up another notch? And I realized I had to change my health. So then that's when I knew that I started to change my diet. And I needed to eat healthier. Because at the time, I thought health and fitness was the same thing. And then realizing that, fitness is just the physical and working out and exercise. Whereas health is what you eat and the nutrition that you put into your body and your micronutrients and then the macros and everything. So that was really important to me. And then I got into that side of it. And here I am now with a cooking show here in La Union. And it's been really fun. So being a vegan athlete now for pegging the game changers. So now here in the Philippines, at least as people have shared with me, I'm one that they can look up to that's a vegan athlete now. So it helps inspire them that yes, if I can do it and I did it, that they can too. You know, just as long as their intention is to go along that
path. I like that you identify yourself as a vegan athlete, because the misconception is that athletes that are vegan might not be able to get the same protein as you would need in order to accomplish the other physical feats that other athletes normally do.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it's a common misconception, and it was a really big myth that you needed protein in order to become strong and fit and healthy. And there was this whole like medical basis that, oh, if you go vegan, you might have protein deficiency. But I feel like you might as well get protein deficiency compared to my dad, who has a clogged artery and he had to have angioplasty 2 times. So, but then honestly, when you think about it, if you come across someone and we get asked it all the time, so, oh, you're vegan? Where do you get your protein? But I asked them back, I'm like, okay, think about this. Yung kalabaw, sobrang lakas niya, di ba? So hardworking, works the fields, the rice fields, and helps the farmer every single day. Kilala siya na, si Malakas. Yun yung tawag sa kanya. Did you ever stop and think to ask the kalabaw, Kalabaw, you're so strong, but you don't eat meat. What do you do? Like, what do they eat? They just eat grass. They eat plants. They're herbivores. And as fast as the horses, racing every day, being one of the fastest mammals on earth, they too, don't eat meat. They don't have that protein deficiency because they just eat plants. The whole thing is that even Nikola Tesla realized and studied, the man who's like, for me, is the most genius man to ever walk, like, the face of the planet. And during the later part of his life, he was vegetarian. And I researched that and I found out there's a little snippet of a recording where he said, I wouldn't eat meat. That's negative energy. Because, and also at the same time, it's recycled second-hand energy. Because it's only the energy of the sun that's able to come here to the earth. But we cannot harness the energy of the sun. It's only the plants that can convert the energy of the sun through photosynthesis. So if the cows eat the plants, so that's already the first-hand energy, then you eat the cows, so they used up that energy already. So that's second-hand energy that you're already consuming. So what we like to share with people and help bring knowledge to them and enlighten them with is that we take out the middleman. So we take out the cow, we take out the chicken, we take out the pork and the fish and whatever, and we go straight to the source, which is the plants, which is exactly why they are strong and fast and healthy, and why they have the first-hand energy, and they had protein all along because they ate the plants. So yeah, it's all about debunking myths. That's it. I can't hear Richie.
Hello, sir. Can you?
He's
Sir,
on
I
mute.
think you're on mute. You're on mute.
Sorry, Tito
There.
Richie here. So,
It's okay.
Isai just had to comment that she loved the Kalabaw analogy.
Yeah.
And we have some viewers with us. Richard Diuda, always watching.
Cool.
and Ted Claudio, the legendary Ted Claudio himself, from What's Up PH, saying hello, dropping by, and
Hi everyone.
si Miss Cher Tanchico, I believe, has a comment. What's your comment about Miley
Ah,
Cyrus? So, ano yun? Ano yung
juicy na
chika
to
with Miley
ah.
Cyrus?
Yeah,
I
so
think she's pescatarian or what is she right now ba?
take a Pat, what do you know? What did you hear
Oh,
recently?
Basta alam
Then
ko
I'll share with
naghiwalay
you
sila
guys.
ni Liam Hemsworth.
Yes.
sir, luma na yan. Luma
Okay.
na yan. Naghiwalay na sila ni Cody Simpson.
Okay.
From
Sorry.
Liam nag-Cody, but naghiwalay na rin sila.
Israel.
Pero, yeah, I'm curious
Yes.
what's your comment on Miley Cyrus. I know she's been promoting vegan lifestyle, but I'm not sure what is she right now.
Yeah. So she was vegan in 2012 up until last year, and she was
Mm-hmm.
one of those like celebrities, high profile celebrities that were into veganism and were in cooperation with the whole advocacy and the movement. And just recently, it's a good thing I'm up to date with plant-based news. It's something that I follow on Instagram and on Facebook as well because recently she guested on Joe Rogan's podcast. Finally came out that she hasn't been vegan the past maybe half a year or so, for the fact that now she's pescatarian. That's what she's claiming. And she stopped
Mhm.
eating fully vegan, plant based, for the fact that she's eating for her brain type.
Okay.
So if you, which
May-
was
may
the
ganon.
first time, yes, it's the first time I've ever heard of you eat for your brain type. I've heard of you eat for your blood type O, blood type, A, blood type, whatever, and then the first time she said, I'm eating for my brain type. So it's pretty funny what's going around in the vegan community comments and everything, and they're like, yeah, she shouldn't be associated anymore because she's not vegan. But I respect people for the journey and the path that they're on. I
Mhm.
don't have any judgment or condemn people who aren't vegan to begin with or aren't
Mhm.
plant based, and then who maybe have gone plant based or have gone vegan or vegetarian, then all of a sudden, like, they had another calling and they're not. Honestly, yes, a lot of us are vegan for the animals. There's vegan for the planet, the environment, because nowadays, I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but it's no longer cars, jet planes, every mode of transportation combined that is the number one factor for climate change and for the carbon emissions in the planet. They're number two now. Number one, it's actually livestock. So it's
Okay.
what you're eating on your plate is the reason for climate change and global warming. This is like information that's it's readily available to research on Google. I welcome anyone who really wants to look into it. Just Google it; it's there. But of course, it's not on the news all the time, especially mainstream
Mhm.
news, because when you look at these news stations in abroad, in the States, or even here locally, who are the commercials that are funding these news channels? Um, it's the fast food restaurants, it's the canned goods, the instant noodles, the junk food. So, if the news channels were to actually state to the public what the real underlying truth really is, they could be pulled of their livelihood. So they don't state it anymore. But that's the
Mhm.
beauty that I love about the internet now, because no one owns it. The Ted Turner before CNN, ABS, CBN, GMA, those people own those networks, those platforms. If you wanted to get into it, you really had to. Dadaan ka sa butas ng karayom. Now anyone can broadcast themselves on their cell phone. And before, live streaming equipment was so expensive. Now you just need data, and anyone can stream live, and they have their TikToks and their Instagrams and their YouTube, and what we're doing right now, like having this podcast. You have your own podcast because there's no one that's going to tell you no, that you can't. You can't have your own say in it and your freedom of speech. So now that we finally have this mode of being in this information age, all that information's out there, but I guess the factor is that what are you going to believe? So I always share with people, whatever information or knowledge comes your way, trust your intuition. And I always, when early on in my vegan journey, I even questioned veganism because I knew from a very wise person who I met in Hawaii just before my awakening and before I became vegan. He said, Cassie, I can tell when you go back to the Philippines, you're going to be a game changer because you're not like any other Filipina. I've met Filipinos, here in Hawaii. Ang daming Filipinos sa Hawaii or anywhere across the U.S., right? And he goes, you're going to be a game changer. And I was like, I believed him, but at the time I didn't know what it was for. And going along this journey, like I realize it now is that we have our voice and we're able to inspire people with it. And he told me, he goes, he was from Chile. He goes, we're both from Catholic countries, right? But question everything. Question everything. And then I came back, and even veganism, I got into it, and it really resonated with me. And it felt really good, but I still questioned it. And whenever I come to a choice between anything I need to decide for in life, I'm always like, what's the most compassionate choice between the two, or between this multitude of decisions I have to make? So if I'm to have a choice between drinking almond milk or soy milk, to cow's milk, goat's milk, whatever else animal's milk, what's the more compassionate choice? Because for me, I'm like, wait, that milk wasn't made for me. That's supposed to be for its baby. So to give compassion to that cow or that kalabaw or the goat, I will opt for the soy milk or the almond milk, because for me, that's the most compassionate choice. So same goes to show for, a vegan hamburger. Naturally, that's going to be the most compassionate choice. So I resonate on that. And with whatever information's out there along anyone's journey, yes, always trust your intuition and ask yourself what leads you into the most compassionate path.
I have a question, Cassie. What's the difference between being a vegan and being a vegetarian? I've heard that those two are two different concepts as well, right?
Yes. So vegetarian, basically they don't eat meat. They just eat fruits and vegetables. But then there's ovo-vegetarian and lacto-vegetarian, or just vegetarians who eat both milk and eggs. So lacto meaning milk. They're vegetarian. They don't eat meat, but they still drink milk, or they eat dairy products such as cheeses, milk tea, ice cream. But guys,
Egg.
don't worry. Oh yeah, so egg for those who eat eggs. So the ovo, vegetarian. Most vegetarians they eat both milk and eggs. In terms of vegan is we don't eat anything that has to do with animals, any animal product or any animal byproduct. So the byproduct of an animal is the egg, the milk, their leather, let's say lanolin, or bees, honey. So when I became vegan, even before I became vegan, I had already let go of milk and eggs. And I was still eating meat. But I had no intentions before, back in 2017, to go vegan or vegetarian whatsoever. I let go of milk and eggs because I took a food intolerance test. Because remember, going back, I had intended it for myself, and I had a goal to become my healthiest self. In order to do that, you need to take a food intolerance test. a food intolerance test, you go to a preventive medicine doctor, or you go to those like high precision lab testing places where they take your blood, and it should be your blood, because then they're gonna test it against certain strips, and it's gonna tell you if you're intolerant, meaning you're slightly allergic to peanuts. Most people are, like especially in the States. Nuts, Caucasians, they're allergic to that. Those who are allergic to shellfish, shrimp, crustaceans, they can't eat bagoong. But don't worry, there's vegan bagoong. Even those who eat meat, who still, they want to eat bagoong, but they're allergic to shrimp, they can still have vegan bagoong. So I took that food intolerance test just because I wanted to become healthier, and found out I was intolerant to milk, eggs, peanuts, and olives. So I took out milk and eggs. And my most intolerant was eggs and milk. And I asked my nutritionist, Nadine Tenko, I go, Chef Nads, I finally took the food intolerance test. She goes, oh, yeah, sige, kwento mo sa akin. Ano yung intolerance test? I was like, I was so sad. I'm intolerant to 4 things. I didn't think whatsoever I'd be intolerant to anything, because I didn't feel any symptoms. I didn't have like indigestion. That's the danger about intolerance. They're killing me softly. Even though you think it's healthy for you, like olives are super healthy. But for me, it's not. So it depends on the person, right? And peanuts are super healthy, right? Protein. But for me, it wasn't. And then I asked her, I go, I'm intolerant to milk, but I've been drinking it ever since I was a kid. And when I was in the States, that's all I grew up on. Commercials, TV, Got Milk ads, Michael Jordan, Britney Spears, Serena Williams with the Got Milk mustache,
Yeah.
You get strong bones. But I realized it was just a marketing. It wasn't actually true. And she told me, don't worry if you're intolerant to milk, because all my clients are intolerant to milk. And I was like, oh, really? And then I was like, okay, so it kind of comforted me, because I'm like, so I'm not the only one. So then I'm like, so why is everyone intolerant to cow's milk? She said, here in the Philippines, yes, you're Filipino. Samia, because 1, cows aren't indigenous to the Philippines. I go, okay, so we're not adopted. 2, in today's day and age, how they milk cows and how they produce milk, it's so unsanitary that there's no social distancing whatsoever. I mean, we're learning from this pandemic. So, being in close quarters with people spreads diseases. But that's what's happening in livestock. They're together eating and drinking and, defecating in the same area. So how can they not get sick? So naturally, anong sinasaksak sa kanila? Yun yung kinakwento niya sa akin. What do you think? Anong sinasaksak sa kanila? Right? Antibiotics. GMOs.
To survive that kind of environment.
Exactly. To survive that environment. Because the farmers or the businessman behind it, they don't want them to get sick, because if they get sick, mangangayayat sila. Naman per kilo yung bentahan. Right?
Yeah.
So, it's shocking when I became vegan and found out that 80% of the world's manufacturing of antibiotics aren't for humans. They were manufactured for livestock, because they're fed or they're injected into livestock because of how horrible conditions that they're living in, because they get sick all the time. That is the reason why the next pandemic, as they've shared, is going to be the fact that people are intolerant to, or they're no longer affected by antibiotics, because they didn't know that they've been taking minute doses of antibiotics every single day in their ice cream, in their omelet, in the milk, the formula that you're giving to your baby, and I was shocked. I'm like, oh, I had like a moment of cognitive dissonance, because I was conditioned since I was a kid. Before you go to bed, drink your milk.
Yeah.
When you wake up in the morning, it was cereal with like toasted Frosties with Tony the Tiger and Fruit Loops. And right, and Charms with milk. right? And then that's healthy for you. But of course, we know now that it's not because it's full of sugar. But you would have thought that the milk's healthy, but no. And then you go to lunch at school, you're also served milk. And I go, my gosh, that was the only time I actually believed it, that milk wasn't healthy for me. Because even before taking the food intolerance test, I'd heard it. Someone said, milk's not actually healthy for you. I'm like, psh, whatever. Like, that's what they've been teaching us since.
Does the body good?
Yeah, it does the body good, right? Strong bones, healthy teeth, blah, blah, blah. Calcium, you need calcium. But it's the opposite. It's actually leaching calcium from us. And I was just shocked. And then finally realizing when I got the blood test and my body was actually fighting against the milk from being there. So in this whole pandemic, people are realizing, and I hope I share this to people who don't know it yet, that the frontliners in this whole, pandemic or this war against this virus, it's not the doctors, the nurses, the medical staff. They're not the frontliners. They're the last line of defense. The frontliners in all of this are your antibodies.
Right.
It's your immune system.
Yes.
Because if your immune system's the first thing that's gonna try and fight this virus, or try and fight any disease or illness or bacterial infection, right? Or a simple cold. But when it fails, that's the time where you need assistance from another human being to help bring you back to health, right? And then you go to the hospital. So that's the reason why when this happened and I met my business partners here in La Union and they own Current Multimedia Production, I met them picking up trash on the beach because we were doing coastal cleanup every afternoon. And I go, yeah, I'm a blogger, I'm an events host. And he goes, oh, that's perfect. Like, we're a multimedia company. I go, the universe aligned us because I've given up on editing. Like, I'm fine, talking in front of the camera, sharing my knowledge and inspiring people. I'll be there on the day itself that I need to talk and do the photos and whatever that it needs to be done for me. But my gosh, I gave up honestly on doing the post-production of the editing and everything. We met up and it was such synchronicity to find out that they were also plant-based. And I go, that's so rare. Because in Manila, it's so rare to come across someone else who's plant-based just randomly, unless you did it on purpose to meet up with them at a veg up. We call that a vegan potluck is called a veg up. And then you meet the other vegans, which if anyone who's interested to, get into veganism or transition into veganism, or they're just vegan curious, they want to try what the food's like, you can go on Manila Vegans on Facebook. That's a group that's free to join. And on there, you can have a mentor for free who's going to help you along your journey. So we have a lot of tools like that because so many people are so passionate about saving the animals, saving the planet, the environment, water. My gosh, when you go vegan for a day, just one day, you save 600 gallons of water. That's crazy.
Wow.
So meaning
600.
600 gallons of water. So meaning when you eat non-vegan, so when you eat meat 3 times a day, you're actually consuming 600 gallons of water. Because it took that much energy of Mother Earth to actually create that 1 pound of food. So we're really seeing now the effects of it all, and just really helping inform people through the show that we have, which is called Veg on the Edge. So I do the cooking show since last year. I took my certification to be a plant-based nutrition consultant and coach. So I have that service that I offer to anyone who wants to get a meal plan and transition to plant-based. Maybe they're already plant-based, they're already vegetarian, or they're already vegan, but they want to up their health because don't be, fooled. People think that, oh, it's vegan, it's healthy. But French fries are vegan. Oreos are vegan.
Talaga,
Potato
Oreos?
chips. Yes, Oreos are vegan. So yes, yay, we still still get to enjoy Oreos.
Yeah.
But you can't eat that for lunch, every
Mhm.
day. Every day. I have a vegan friend who she shared that with me. She goes, yeah, I had a friend who was vegan in college, and she was an animal ethical vegan. That was her reason. So meaning she was vegan for the animal. Um,
Mhm.
wasn't really one that was into health much. And then she ate a roll of Oreos every day, and I was like, really? Not, and then, but not to judge. I understand her perspective. For her, it was just so that she didn't do any harm to the animals. But for me, I want to share with people that the best thing is to come from a holistic approach. Yeah, yes, don't harm the animals. So, eat vegan. Don't eat the animal products. But also, don't harm yourself. Eat healthier for yourself because you yourself as well as an animal. We're part of the animal kingdom, right?
Mhm.
And that goes to show when you take care of yourself, then you're able to prolong your life to fulfill your mission here on earth, to really pursue the advocacies that you want to promote. So for those who are, animal ethical reasons and they have those advocacies that do it for the animals or they do it for the planet, I really want to inspire those vegans as well to become healthy vegans, to be vegan for themselves, vegan for for their spirit, be healthy vegan for their bodies because the longer that they're able to live on this planet, the longer that they're going to be able to share their advocacy and do more change in the world. So that's it. Be the change that you want to see in the world. That's it.
Nice.
Yeah, ang dami natin natututunan, sir. Very holistic learning from
Magbabagong buhay na ako.
Cassie.
Sige na.
Don't
Guilty
worry,
na
I'll
ba?
help you.
Pat, do you have another question?
Actually, a while ago you brought up Veg on the Edge, right? Like how the universe lined up and brought you to your partners right now, and you guys collaborated and gave birth to Veg on the Edge. So, as a content creator as well, we want to know, do you have any other content creators that you want to collaborate with?
Yes, of course. I do want to collaborate with a Stig vegan. She's
Mm-hmm.
already my friend. We've I've guested on her channel for like a webcast kind of thing that she did during this lockdown. Yeah, that's her channel. If someone wants to search, she does a lot of cooking, vegan cooking recipes. She mostly veganizes Filipino food, like vegan dinuguan. You wouldn't have ever thought you could eat
Ooh.
vegan dinuguan, no?
The
And
fact
it
that
tastes,
dinuguan yun, parang, how do
yeah.
you do that and make it vegan?
You know what the secret is? It's black beans. So you
Oh, you get
boil
the same
black beans.
color.
Yeah. And then titimplahan mo siya ng kagaya ng dinuguan. So may suka, diba? And
Mhm.
then how to get it really black, you put a little bit of activated charcoal. O healthier pa siya. But
Mhm.
you're not gonna taste the activated charcoal. But it gives it that nice black color if that's what you want. But the taste, it's spot on. And then you just use some sort of healthier meat alternative, or you use oyster mushrooms to have the texture of like the meat in it as well. Or if you want it more like a meatier, gamier texture, then you could use shiitake mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of meat substitutes such as that, but you also have mock meats. So mock meats have the texture just like beef, but it's a processed sort of plant-based meat alternative that's made up of soy protein, wheat protein, and corn protein all in one. And that you can search online. The most popular that is sold here in the Philippines is called Meat Magic. So just like meat, bland, it's bland, Kasi
Mhm.
titimplahan mo siya ng kagaya ng kahit anong gusto mong meat dish. Na parang fiesta. Menudo, apritada, dinuguan, sinigang,
Ay, nagutom
fried
ako.
chicken, but it's vegan. So my dad loves that when he transitioned to vegan for his health naman. Because
Mhm.
I, because I became vegan for my spirit. So I'm vegan for
Mhm.
spirituality. But my dad, because of his health problems with his heart, he was gonna go on his third angioplasty for the same artery because he had it sinalaksakan siya twice. Finally natanggal. He needed a Japanese surgeon to come here to actually do it kasi sa sobrang tigas nung clogged artery niya. Back in 2017, 2016, 2017. Hindi na
Mhm.
kayanan ng Filipino doctor. So a specialist surgeon that purely only does angioplasties in Japan
Mhm.
flew here, they scheduled it. Tinira siya from both sides.
Ooh.
So he needed to get two angioplasties. 2 years later, the same artery clogged up again. Kasi nga, may mga stents. They put stents to hold up the
Yeah.
walls,
Mhm.
right? But of course, because his diet, it didn't exactly change. I mean, he was still eating more fruits and vegetables, but he still had a little bit of like 1/8 kilo of kiniling within it, right? So naturally, dumaan yung cholesterol or the fat in that,
Mhm.
dadaanan yung stent. So it clogged up. So he was scheduled last November, 2019, to have a third angioplasty for the same order.
Mhm.
Then the Game Changers came out in September. And I was already telling him, Dad, you have to watch the Game Changers. It's this documentary. And I was already a vegan for a year and a half. So he already knew my diet. He already tasted the food that I tasted and was letting him try, which was vegan bagnet, vegan
Oh,
lechon
sarap.
kawali, yeah, vegan fried chicken, vegan chicken skin, my favorite chicken skin. Thank God there's a vegan version for
Ay,
it.
gano'n.
So yeah, and
Who would
then
have thought may vegan version on?
exactly. So he had already tried it, pero syempre he was still like, oh, may ganito naman, but I'm okay. Like I'm still gonna eat whatever. Or
Mm.
sometimes like he'll get his fork and whatever my mom was eating, like kahit na may food siyang healthy para sa kanya, gumaganon yung fork niya dun sa
Puput pa rin siya.
plate ng mom ko. And then he'd eat a little, right? So I'm like,
Diba?
okay, Dad. Diba? Like, such a dad thing to do. So, naturally, kahit na may konting-konti na lang siyang kinakain na beef, nadali pa rin ulit the same artery. So, the day before his scheduled third angioplasty, I had him sit down. I'm like, Dad, are you doing anything today? He goes, wala naman. Are you ready to finally watch the Game Changers? He goes, sige, panoorin ko na. Sat down, watched it, and I had to leave and go to Makati for sports training. So I didn't see them the entire evening na kasi midnight na ako dumarating because, Makati traffic and whatever.
Mhm.
The next day, he was so excited, woke up early. So I got downstairs to our living room. And he was so ecstatic that he said, oh my gosh, I couldn't sleep. And I was so excited the next day. I woke up so early, I called my surgeon, my doctor, and canceled my surgery this afternoon. And I started calling all your titas and my sisters and in the States and said, you know what? I'm not gonna go through with the surgery anymore. I watched the Game Changers. You guys gotta watch it too. It's gonna change your life. And I'm gonna go vegan. So I'm like, thank God. Thank you, Dad. And I knew he could relate to it because the main character in the Game Changers was a vegan MMA fighter in the UFC. I forgot his name. I think it was Wilkes or something. That same thing. So my dad could relate to it because here was
Mhm.
this your kid, your daughter or your son or your daughter who was this like super athlete in like a full contact sport because I played rugby, right? And then he went vegan. I went vegan. But his dad in the Game Changers, his real dad, because it's a documentary, right? Same thing. He had heart problems. He had a heart attack before. He previously had a
Mhm.
stroke. And he was on the same path again of going through getting another stroke because of his diet. So he inspired his dad to go vegan. And when he went vegan, his cholesterol went down, the blood pressure, he no longer had, he reversed, his clogged artery or something. But I don't exactly remember if it was a clogged artery, but he reversed his cardiovascular disease.
Mm-hmm.
And it inspired my dad so much that he goes and sits me down and says, you know what, I'm ready. I'll follow in your footsteps. Well, nabaliktad na, di ba? I'm not the one following mine in my dad's footsteps anymore. He's now gonna follow suit in my footsteps, and now he was ready to go vegan as well. And I'm like, thank you, Dad. Really for the fact that he was traumatized with those two surgeries. He didn't want to go through it again because it was so painful and sobrang nahirapan siya. Angioplasty na yun, it wasn't even open heart surgery. What more? And he knew that he had to take health into his own hands, into his own matter. And I told him, that's right, Dad. You can't band-aid this forever and have the doctors just put a band-aid on it and take out the clogged artery and the clogged cholesterol that built up in your heart. You really have to take it into your own hands to reverse it and make sure it doesn't happen again. So that's it. That's your own frontliner. That's what I want to share with people, and hopefully the viewers, learn something today. You are your own frontliner. It's all in your hands. We can't wear a mask forever. You have to take care of your own health, and that's why we put the show together for Veg on the Edge, because I really want to share with people, in a fun, entertaining way, how to cook healthy, plant-based, nutritious, vegan, plant-based food. And the reason for this is that through the show, I'm able to give free content and free recipes together with my team. We're able to give that to our audiences in collaboration with our partners and our brand partners that advertise on the show. And we're super happy that they believed in our capabilities to help bring awareness to people in terms of health and help bring awareness that there's such products like these, that there's vegan lechon kawali, because they didn't know that there's vegan isaw. Who would have thought? There's
Meron
vegan
din
isaw.
pati isaw.
Yeah, there's isaw. So for
Cass,
me, my
there's
role
a-
in it is to
before-
bring awareness.
Let me just say that you have a viewer. He wants to correct you. Second Anjo Cassie, but then he said, listen to your dad. And then immediately after, sorry Cassie, you're right about my Anjo. It's supposed to be my third.
I was supposed to be a third. See, I got your memory. That's my dad. Thank you for watching, Dad.
So
Yeah,
we
it
have
was-
other members of the Thoughtful family watching as well. We have si Papa Lem. And-
yeah, di ka na
Mhm.
Thank you. And on behalf of the animals and the planet, they thank you as well. It's do your research. I was shocked at first when I found out when I was intolerant to milk, and I researched it. Yun pala, 80% of the world's population is intolerant to milk. Maybe 80, you could say 70 to 80, or maybe 60 to 80, but that's too much, man. So it's like, why pursue it? Don't worry, there's a bunch of vegan ice cream that's being sold in the Philippines. You can make your own. They call it ice cream. Just banana, frozen banana, and you blend it. Yeah, put whatever flavoring. You put raw cacao or chocolate powder in the frozen bananas. You put it in the blender. That's ice cream na. Diba? Nakatipid ka pa. Yun.
Another shout out from Karshi saying hello. Miss everyone, Cassie.
Hi, Car.
And yeah.
Pati sa Jantan kanina. I love it. So many
Okay.
viewers all throughout the Philippines.
Let's go to our next segment, Pat.
Okay, so after our a very insightful talk about veganism and getting to know Cassie more, before we move on to the next segment, I just want to read two more comments. We
Go.
have Neri here, our viewer. She said, "Very insightful. I've always wanted to be vegan, but I don't eat most veggies. Might need to evaluate my life after this episode."
Alam mo, Neri,
And
nakita kita kumain ng crispy chicken fillet sa McDo, kaya wag ka na magpanggap.
Don't worry,
we
may
all
crispy vegan chicken fillet. Please do subscribe to the channel, Veg on the Edge. On
yes.
there, we just finished our first season. We're filming our second season this month, and we're getting more advertisers and sponsors for it, so we can give you those free recipes. And yeah, I'll teach you guys how to cook healthy vegan food, but it can taste just like your favorite comfort food. Diba?
Nice.
Yes, for sure. I'll check that out as well. Lalo na when you said vegan chicken skin and vegan isaw.
Yes,
Parang ako, I really could not believe
my
this. Mayroon
favorite.
palang may ganun palang
Yeah,
option.
the name of the brand is Butcher. So instead of
Butcher?
Butcher, it's Butcher. Yeah, I'll share with you the
Oh,
link later, or I'll comment dun sa Facebook live stream. I'll
yes,
comment.
yes. For everyone who's
Tag,
interested.
yes, tag ko yung friends ko from the vegan merchants in
Mhm.
Manila, and they do everyone loves delivery. They do delivery, so you guys can have your own vegan chicken skin.
Jackie
Super
brought up, where's the that you were gonna put? This one, sorry.
Ayan.
Um, have you tried Impossible Meat and Beyond Meat? Have you tried those already?
I haven't been able to try the
Oh.
Impossible Burger and the
Mhm.
Beyond Meat because medyo rare siyang makuha dito. But it is available here
Yeah, yeah.
because you can get it through. There's a lot of vegan merchants. You can find them on Manila Vegans, or you just search them on the Facebook search bar. And which I will tag later in the comments. Yung like Manila Vegans, and then you can search there, or some vegan merchants. I'll tag them in their pages. That they also sell specifically Beyond Meat products that they imported. The reason why hindi pa ako bumili is because there's a lot of local vegan SMEs that also make their own vegan plant-based patty, vegan burger, vegan chicken, vegan, like I said, butcher. They
Right,
make
right.
their own chicken skin. We have the real veggie guys that make the vegan isaw, barbecue, atay-atayan. My gosh, vegan atay-atayan. They have unicorn foods. They make their own spam, hot dogs, lechon
Wow.
kawali, tocino, longanisa. So I really didn't have the need to buy the imported version of these mock meats because we had local ones to begin with, and even more so amazing that we get to support our local merchants and local vegans here in the country. So I do as much as I can to help promote them as an influencer, and especially now that a few of them are advertisers on Veg on the Edge, our channel on YouTube. I help promote them even more because they help support us, and I
Nice.
want to really tell the audiences that there are these types of products like the mock meats. I read a while ago, I think Jacqueline said something like, "Oh, the mock meats taste a bit funky." Of course,
Yeah.
it takes a little bit getting used to because it's not meat, it's not animals. Of course, it's a little different, but I can share with you that it's as close as it can get. Sometimes when you have a side by side comparison of, let's say, maybe a burger, not steak. It's a little harder to emulate steak. But let's say a burger side by side together with like the best vegan burger. Sometimes you'll see reviews on YouTube. The viewers would actually choose the plant-based burger as the tastiest one, or thinking that was the real meat burger. So I'm glad how far food technology has come nowadays. But yes, I do agree with Jacqueline that I still prefer and promote whole food plant-based, which is what I mostly cook on Veg on the Edge, our TV show on YouTube. That's mostly what I cook, but I do still share with our viewers like the vegan alternatives, just like the lechon, the isaw, the shawarma wraps, pizza, vegan cheeses, which is made out of cashews, things like that.
One of
So-
our, another one
hey,
of
Eric.
our creators, Eric. Yeah, he
I
he
met
said he
Eric.
tried the sisig and egg from the plant-based
Wow.
project. Baka
Yeah.
you guys can do a collab in the future.
Definitely. I already messaged Eric when I saw he tagged me on Instagram, fellow thoughtful creator.
Right.
and said that he did a vegan food review with that brand. And I watched that particular vlog. I thought it was awesome that he got to try it. And being that he's a foodie just like you, Richie, and
Right.
does those reviews, I'm happy that Eric was happy that, oh my gosh, ang sarap daw ng sisig. Diba? May vegan sisig, diba? Kalain mo. And he was happy with that. May vegan pancit. I love vegan palabok. And they make it, the sauce, they make it out of kalabasa. So it's
Oh,
even
nice.
healthier. Diba?
Right.
So, nasa ano lang yan eh. People are like, oh my gosh, like, plants are tasteless. But when you think about it, what actually flavors meat? When you boil
Mhm.
chicken without herbs or spices, which herbs or spices are plants, if you boil chicken and just eat it as is, it's tasteless. And I've sort of known that world because when I joined
Mhm.
Gold's Gym BodyCon back in 2015, that's all the bodybuilders were eating. Just bland boiled chicken. Super like boring and like, but then all they wanted was the protein, right? They didn't care about the taste or the flavor. And it goes to show and proves that, you know, what flavors meat? It's plants. So what flavors
Mhm.
plants? You just flavor plants with plants. The herbs, the spices, you know, and that's where all the micronutrients, the minerals, the vitamins, and the macronutrients are. It's in plants.
So, dream collab. Let's do a
Definitely. Up for a collab.
veg on the edge with the pickiest eater.
Yes, yes. I shared. I mentioned that to you before when
I
we
know. I
met up
know.
in January at the restaurant. Was it Cocina? Something like
Right.
Cucina
that.
Modern, yeah.
Yeah, Cocina Modern. Thank you to them. Yeah, I was like, hey, Richie, I'll cook up something for you, and then you do a taste testing. Medyo nakakatakot kasi nga, pickiest eater in the world. So I have to make sure that it's really tasty. Diba?
I'm all for trying the vegan bagnet, a vegan sisig. I'm
Oh,
all for that.
oh, yeah, you definitely have to. Your brain is gonna be like, wait, it tastes just like pork, but it's not pork. That's what I went
Mind
through. I'm like,
blown.
yeah, mind blowing. Vegan chefs that have created it, they're like wizards. They're wizards in their craft. Galing sobra. And
Oh,
yeah,
Pat.
oh yeah, going on another collab if ever. I would love to collaborate with like Erwan and all
Oh,
the
okay.
other
Yeah.
like food cooking show kind of hosts. Even if they're not like a vegan channel, I would love to collab with them to like
Hmm.
share dishes that are plant based, of course.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, we can be with that.
Mm-hmm.
Once the pandemic
Definitely
is done.
connect.
Once safe.
Cool, cool. Yeah, then we'll head down to Manila and do collabs with people there.
Right. Pat, ready?
Yes, okay. So after learning about veganism with Cassie, we have another segment prepared for you. This segment we call it past thoughts. So
Mm-hmm.
syempre at Thoughtful, we've been studying your account, aka stalking you basically.
It's part
So
of the job.
we pulled up a few photos of you from back in the days, and we'll be showing you a photo. Just
Oh my gosh.
um, safe naman to. All of the photos are safe. Just give us a brief explanation on what were you feeling that day, why you posted this, or like a short
Okay,
background lang, or on why what's behind the photo.
cool, cool. This is interesting. Let's see.
Okay, so let's move
Past
on to the
memories.
first photo.
It's like diving into the pensive Harry Potter. Okay, cool. Yeah. So, like I shared a while ago, I started out my professional talking career
Mm.
as an ABS-CBN sports courtside reporter. So, and I was super happy that my very first gig was right smack in the middle of courtside in Araneta Center, diba? Araneta Coliseum. As any athlete or any sportscaster or presenter, I mean, that's big. You know, if you're a musician, that's someplace that you want to perform. So for me as a sportscaster at the time, it was like, it was exciting, but nerve wracking. And then the fact that it was live on TV. I know
Yeah.
my dad's watching right now. This was like pre YouTube. Like I
Mhm.
think it was 2006. No one,
Yeah.
YouTube wasn't popular yet, and we only had TVs then. You had to go to the internet cafe. So my dad, they were living in Quezon province at the time, and he needed to run up the roof to fix the antenna.
Para
Para
he could watch you.
Yeah, just so he can watch me on TV.
Oh, that's so
And they
cute.
told me that after, and I was just like, it was super heartfelt that they were so proud of me, and they were able to watch me on TV because it honestly was a dream of mine since high school. Me watching my brother, he was an Atenista, and he watched every single game on TV and would like super cheer because he's that much of a basketball fanatic. And me, I love sports. I grew up in Chicago during, naku, baka mahalata yung edad ko. During the very first 3 feet of the Chicago Bulls with his airness, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and I grew up in that culture that we all met up and we cheered for our favorite team, our home crowd. So I knew that, syempre, hindi naman ako guy to play on the men's basketball team. So I wanted to be part of the action. The only way to be part of it was to be that only girl on the team that was able to go into their locker rooms and know about their secrets, their plays, and squeeze into the huddle, the sweaty huddle, was to be a courtside reporter. And I'm super happy that that dream was fulfilled because of ABS-CBN on Studio 23. So yeah, that's that photo. Cassie Umali at Araneta Coliseum. Oh, wow.
Studio 23. What you
Yeah.
want?
Diba?
Nice. Next.
Next photo.
Yeah.
There. Ayun, oh.
Yes,
What
Miss
year was this,
Philippine
Cassie?
Philippines. This is 2015. So this is when Gold's Gym Philippines had its first ever bodycon.
Okay.
So it's their body convention, a celebration of fitness, health, and just being like fitness enthusiasts. So because I was sponsored by Gold's Gym before and I was a member through the Philippine Lady Volcanoes as a national athlete. And thank you, Gold's Gym, that they're super generous in sponsoring, all the athletes. And because of it, I got fitter and I got abs. That was that time. And I got healthy and I got abs. And yeah, I won Miss Gold Gym BodyCon and became Miss Gold Gym Philippines, the first ever. And it was funny because the whole reason why I joined it was when they were announcing it within the gyms. They're like, search for Gold's Gym new fitness ambassadors, And at first I'm like, oh, it's a bodybuilding competition. I'm not going to join that. I'm not a bodybuilder. Like, I don't even lift weights. But everyone thinks that I do. And even before, everyone thought that I did. But they didn't know that my body, like, the muscles just started, like, building up because of the fact that ang binubuhat ko was tao. Because of rugby. So you tackle them, di ba? You get hit as well. So when you get hit, your body naturally, kinakalyo niya yung muscles mo. Kasi tinatamaan siya ng tinatamaan. Di ba? Just like kalyo is. So, I really just got fit through sports and spin class and cardio and dance class in Wolf's Gym. And super rare that I did weights when my teammates were there because they were doing their programs. And the whole reason why I joined was when I found out that the mechanics had a question and answer at the end.
Wow.
I go, you know what? This isn't a bodybuilding competition. There's no such bodybuilding competition that has a question and answer at the end. Then I figured, it really is their search for their fitness ambassador. Therefore, it's a beauty pageant for fit people. So I'm joining. So and it was funny because it was the first ever. So you actually had bodybuilders who joined who thought it was a bodybuilding competition.
Mm-hmm.
But they joined and they're like, they kind of stoned up and not stoned up, wrong word. they froze up when it came to the question and answer portion because they weren't used to that. But because I've been a courtside reporter, just like the previous picture, they're like and an events host, seminar conference host since like 2002, 2002 and stuff. Like nahasa ako in front of the stage, and because I always own the stage, like holding a microphone and being the one talking, right? So I was confident about it. And when I found out, like not to brag, but honestly, when I found out there's a question and answer portion, I already knew. So I go, done. Panalo na.
I got you.
Yeah, right?
Yes,
like,
yes.
Fitness-wise, wala din makatalo sa akin because I was really lean as an athlete. The others were like bodybuilder kind of bodies. I was lean, I was fit, so done. But when it came to the question and answer portion, I knew there was no one else that could beat me on that. So it was like, you know what? It's in the bag. And that helped me even more to build my confidence to actually take it home. To win it in the end. Because just like an athlete performs in their chosen sport, you have to be really confident when you're going to face your opponents or your competitors. So that trained me a lot in terms of even competing for Miss Gold's and then luckily I won it. So super happy to represent and be the first ever Miss Gold's Gym Philippines. Yeah.
Yay!
Awesome.
Galing.
Next.
Okay, next we have Beja the Edge. You've been bringing up this a while ago, so tell us more about your TV show.
Yeah, that's it. So that's our teaser for the very first episode of season 1. And I am cooking rainbow adobo. Well, this is the very first episode. Cool. Rainbow adobo. Basically, it's adobong gulay that I named rainbow adobo. With even yung adobo dun sa end of adobo, the spelling is also a W. So it's a double rainbow. Yeah.
Adobo.
Adobo. Kasi for me, yes, you can have chicken adobo with patatas, which I could have made, diba, oyster mushrooms yan. I could have made oyster mushrooms being the chicken and with patatas, but it's super plain. That's why it's called veg on the end. We put an edgy nutritional twist on healthy plant-based dishes. I could make adobong kangkong, but still, that's too plain. For me, I want the colors and array of the rainbow to be in just about any dish that I make. Because why? It makes it more enticing, appetizing, scrumptious to look at. Because the first thing you do, your digestion starts not with your mouth, it starts with your eyes. This is proven. Because when you look at food, what happens to your mouth? You start salivating.
Yeah.
So you're already starting the digestive process of getting ready to chew the food and eat the food by just looking at it. So that's why it's important that, of course, people think that vegan food is just salad. So I really, our intention on this show, together with my business partners who helped me create it and produce Veg on the Edge, is to really make it appetizing, easy on the eyes and be like, oh my gosh, I really want to eat that. And even looking at how Cassie is making it, it's so easy. I can make it myself, and we make it rarely instructional. We do demos on it. And for me, I feel like I've been watching cooking shows on the Food Network ever since I was a kid, a teenager, cable TV before YouTube. And my favorite show used to be Good Eats with Dalton Brown. And he's very informative with his information that he shares with people of like why garlic is more pungent and flavorful when you mince it up together. But if you cook it whole, you get a very subtle taste of garlic. There's a chemical, molecular reason behind that. So I love that. So people who know me, they're like, oh, Cassie's a junk. She plays all the sports. But with things like this, they don't know that I have my geeky side and my nerdy side, that I love knowing the science behind why I should be eating this, why I should be eating turmeric. We all know it's really healthy. It's anti-cancer. It's anti-inflammatory.
Mm-hmm.
But when you add black pepper to turmeric, it increases its potency of being super healthy and anti-inflammatory by like tenfold. So anytime you want to eat turmeric, or you're gonna drink salabat, even though it tastes funky, you should add black pepper to it. Because mas healthy siya. Yung mas lumalabas yung the chemical components that makes that herb, that spice, that plant, the fruit, even more nutritious for you. And that's what we're really sharing. Because now in this day and age, people are so interested to become healthier. So I really feel like this pandemic, there's a silver lining to this. Yes, it made people fearful. It made them really scared of what's happening now in the world. But the silver lining now is that now they're finally interested, and now they're finally asking me, and they're asking so many people, and they're asking Google, how do I become healthier? Diba? What steps do I need to take to become healthy? And, you know, I've been a certified plant-based nutrition consultant and coach since last year. And I have clients who hire me for my consultancy to coach them to transition to a plant-based diet, or to even help them eat healthier. At least, you know, I help people who just want to eat healthier. But I have viewers and followers and subscribers who are like, "Oh, Cassie, I need help. Can you help me become healthier? But I know I can't avail of your consultancy or your talent fee to be this coach, you know." And I understood that. And syempre, naawa din ako sa kanila. But of course, time is time. So that's why I brought it up to my business partners. I'm like, hey, we have to put this show together to offer this free content to people. So that's still like the knowledge that I have that I can share with them. We can give it to them on YouTube, you know.
Yes.
And it's shareable. And if they're inspired by it, which is really what our intention is, and it leaves an impact on their lives, and it makes them change for the better, then they change and they become inspirations themselves to their friends and family. It's so easy to just share the link.
Yes.
It's no longer like, oh, get in touch with Cassie. She'll set up the meeting with you, you know, which I could still do if they want that personal one-on-one consultation. But then, you know, it's shareable. Then they'll share it on their Facebook. They'll DM their friends. I just tried this dish. It's actually really healthy. I didn't know vegan is this delicious. You know, but that was sobrang healthy nung mga nutrients pa lang kasama nito. They're like, my gosh, I'm always going to have chia seeds in my morning oatmeal every day. Kasi yun pala, I don't have to eat fish anymore for my omega-3 because chia seeds already has it. So that's things that I love sharing on the show because it's just a matter of really inspiring people that there's these alternatives and sharing with them why they should be eating these particular foods. So it makes them stick to that diet. And, you know, add it to their meals every day. Step by step, one meal at a time.
Yes.
One step at a time, one meal at a time.
Check out Veg on the Edge on YouTube. Tapos sa season 1, but season 2 is coming up really soon.
Yes, this month.
This month. So check it out, guys. Nutritious and delicious at the same time. I showed your channel to a friend of mine who is a nutritionist.
Oh, thank you.
And she was blown away. She said, "Oh my
I
God,
love
this
it.
girl is goals."
Done. Thank you. Whoever your friend is, I would love to collab with her.
She's a content creator from Cebu. So she when she comes here, I'm gonna try this. And the mere fact that you're from La Union, that you're living the dream that she's always had. She has always wanted to just get up and move to La Union for quite some time.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
You guys are gonna get along.
Just tell her to move here and then we'll make content and she can collab and guest on the show. there's so many people here, and since she's also, well, she's a nutritionist. I'm a plant-based nutrition consultant and coach. She's, basically she took the 4 years of being a dietitian, right? She can totally work here. There's so many clients that would avail of her services, and the hospitals here, such as Norma. A lot of clients that I have in person here in La Union are the foreigners who are tourists, who now live here, and some who just got locked down here. But I'm like, hey, they want help with their health, especially because of what happened in this day. So I'm here to be of service to the world and the collective. Online, I do online consultancy and in person. So I'm really here to help. That's it, and that's why I took my certification. That's why we shot the show for those who really want to know more about it. Thanks, Richie. Thanks for spreading it.
To all of our viewers right now, of course, please do not forget to like and subscribe to Cassie's social media account and check out her show, her new channel and show, Veg on the Edge. That's the video. Yes, that's the video we guys showed here. And then, of course, please do not forget to like to Thoughtful PH Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel to be up to date with more Thoughtful Hour sessions. And if ever you missed our past episodes, you could also watch that in playback. There.
Next.
So we have another segment for you, Cassie. Are you still good?
Of course. I love chatting with my
Shout blast to
thoughtful
the volcano. She's gonna be fine.
Yes. Wait, our games are 90 minute games. Can you believe it? And that's nonstop. So talking,
easy lang. So for our next segment, we call this First Thought. Basically, it's just like Tito Boy's fast talk, quick fire questions. So this is gonna be quick. We'll be showing you two options, and then you're gonna say the first answer that comes to mind. So you ready?
Yes.
Okay, let's move on to the first option. Boxing or weightlifting?
Boxing. Like I said a while ago. I rarely weightlift. I perform more dynamic, functional workouts. If I'm to do a workout, it's gonna be through a sport. If I go to Gold's Gym or UFC Gym, I'll look at the classes that they offer first, which is usually part of the membership subscription that you have.
Yes.
Libre siya kasama ng membership. I'll look at the classes first. Kung walang classes, then I go, to maybe yoga or spinning class. If they don't have my favorite class. Kung walang classes whatsoever, then I do weightlifting. That's like really, honestly, is my last line of defense. Like my last choice of a workout is the weightlifting. So,
but boxing for this one.
Yeah, boxing. Fun fitness. That's also
number one.
That's it.
Let's move on to the next. Ab day or leg day?
Ooh, leg day.
Leg day.
Yes, because by doing legs, you already still work out your abs. Because that's core. Yeah, because
when I with one stone.
Yeah, that's it. So you see there, I'm doing lunges. My core needs to be engaged when you do a lunge. But when you just do crunches and ab workouts, you're really just working out your abs. That's it. That area, the stomach area. But when you do more compound movements, like a lunge or like a squat, just doing squats, even if you don't do crunches, that's as much of a core ab workout that you need. Yeah, that's already as functional as it gets. Squats, lunges. So yeah, leg day any day. Or wait, no, not every day. It's not good to do leg day every day. You always need like a rest day.
Yes,
so you need rest days. Yeah.
Let's go to the next one. Swimwear or activewear?
Swimwear.
You hesitated.
No, I was smiling. I was like, I know what I'm going to answer already. And that wasn't the hesitation. It was already my smirk. It was It was me smirking already, knowing the answer was swimmer. Why? Because me moving here to La Union, my swimmer is also my activewear.
That's true.
Yeah, I usually when I just moved here, I was running along the beach every day, which I don't normally jog. I'm not a jogger. I'm a sprinter mostly. I love doing sprinting sports. So I'm not one to do a 10K or a 5K. It's very rare. I
Yeah.
usually only do that when my sponsor invites me, like Adidas or like an event or or like an advertiser, like as an influencer, they invite you to these events. I'll attend and I'll do it, but I'll just walk. I'll walk the 10K, and usually walking a 10K is 2 hours for me because I did it once where I ran, and because I'm not a jogger, it messed up my knees. So you do have to be very careful, yeah. Because I'm a sprinter, so I'm used to doing different movements with those particular muscles. And I wasn't used to jogging on pavement, and it's pretty bad for your knees, for my knees in particular. For those who are used to jogging, I support them 100%. Me, I'm not a jogger, I'm not a marathoner, I'm a sprinter, so I use different muscles. It's totally different. But here on the beach, because we're running on the sand, it's fine for me.
So, cooking in your swimwear, di ka ba natataligsakan ng mantika?
Oo nga. Parang sakit.
Yes, that's hilarious. Good question. And I bet a lot of people have been asking when we started the show with me in a bikini, since I am at the beach hosting it in a bikini for Veg on the Edge. And here's my explanation to people. Thank you for your concern. Yes, and it is very freaky. That's one of my fears, is like frying things and tumatalsik, diba? And thank God for nowadays we have those clear masks, because now may dual purpose siya. And yeah, the face shield, you can now use it pag tuprito mo, diba? Ako naman, since I shared with my friend who said, please wear an apron when you start frying something, I said, don't worry, because Veg on the Edge is a healthy plant-based cooking show. We normally don't fry things on the show.
Okay.
Kung meron man, it's just like a tablespoon of like oil, just to like sort of grease the pan. Sauteing, diba?
Yeah,
So,
sauteing, yeah.
Even though it's vegan and it's healthy and it's plant-based and it's vegetables and fruits and herbs and spices, still you really want to lessen the oil. So as much as I can, I don't deep fry stuff. I don't fry stuff. I will saute dishes once in a while, just to bring out the flavor, because like, let's say sesame seed oil, it's such a good oil to bring out the flavors within the dish. But I won't use a lot. Like I'll rarely use a lot of oil. So that makes me really safe. Wearing a bikini while hosting Veg on the Edge. Because I'm like, it's a healthy plant-based cooking show. We're rarely gonna be frying anything. If I do fry something, hopefully in the future we get an air fryer sponsor, an advertiser, and we're just gonna air fry it. So, therefore, it's healthier because it's air fried. So that's it. Yeah.
All right, next, Pat.
Let's move on to the next set. Vegan taco or vegan pizza?
Pizza. Always my
Pizza.
favorite. Before I was vegan, my family knows this. Like I'm hands down. If there was only like one meal or one dish or thing that I could eat, it would be vegan. I mean, it would be pizza and chicken and fried chicken. But now I guess it's vegan pizza and vegan fried chicken. But thankfully, yeah.
Do you like deep dish being from Chicago?
Yes, deep dish from Chicago, so good. And I remember last time I was there, I ate at the Chicago Pizza and Oven Grinder. Have you heard of that? Where they have that upside down pizza?
Yes.
They put it in like a ceramic dish. So now that you said that, I've been looking into recreating that, but a vegan version of the Chicago Grinder and Oven Grinder pizza, where they put like, it's a ceramic dish. They put the cheese on the bottom and the meat sauce with the marinara tomato sauce, and then they put the dough on top of the ceramic bowl,
Right.
and they bake it like a mushroom. It looks like a mushroom, and then they bring it out to you, and then they flip it over, and then it's the pizza, and it's so amazing. So I'm like, I'm gonna do that, but my cheese is gonna be cashew cheese. So
Wow.
yeah, cashew cheese. So that's what we're
All right.
gonna make. So yes,
So
pizza.
the last question that Pat has is you're gonna need to really think hard about it, all right? Because it's very tough.
Yes.
Go-
Oh my gosh. Putting me on the
Pat,
spot. O, diba? At least, dun sa
Sino mas
dalawang
malakas dating? Derek Ramsey or Richie Zamora?
yes, may pogi effect pa si Richie. Like,
Yeah.
trying to margin up against Derek. Diba? Yeah. So, Derek, I know both of you guys, and you're both dear to my heart. Because Derek's actually also my frisbee teammate in Ultimate. So we play frisbee together. So yeah, I know Derek. Syempre, kay Richie tayo.
can
The
you
kind-hearted, pickiest eater.
can you tell that to
I
my
will.
wife, please?
Which,
My wife just face calm.
oh, diba? Kaya nga, Richie, when we do our collab, sabi nga nila, the way to a man's heart is through food. So I will need to cook my most scrumptious, healthiest, tastiest, delicious vegan version dish that I will serve to the pickiest eater. Para naman, diba, makuha ng labag sa loob na. Yung puso. Parang ganyan. But yes, share that to your wife. Oh, diba? I choose Richie over Derek.
And I didn't even have to take off my shirt.
Yeah, diba? It's not about that, diba? It's about the heart. It's what's
Yeah.
inside.
Pat, final, Pat, for closing.
Yes, I guess we are already on our last question. We call this the random thought. So, Cassie, if you have the world's attention for 30 seconds, what would you say?
Yes. Go within and see the love that is in your heart, and know that you needn't reach for the stars. If only you knew what you are. You are made of pure love. That's that's it. We're made of stardust. Look within, meditate. You'll realize so much more, and have that fuel to really be the change that you want to see in the world. And even if it's hard to look at first, the ugly side, the dark side that you have with you, know that once you bring awareness to it, that you'll shed the light on it to make yourself want to change for the better and become the best version of yourself. And that's been my path the past few years. And I'm really hoping, and my intention is to inspire you all to become the best versions of yourselves as well. And if I can do it through food and through fitness and through health, then I've done my part, and I will leave this earth happy and fulfilled of having done my purpose. There you go. And hopefully you guys will be able to fulfill your purpose as well.
Yay! Thank
Was
you,
that
thank
30
you so
seconds?
much.
I was looking for the timer. Pang Miss Universe eh.
I thank you.
Thank you.
But thank you so much, Cassie. As in, super enjoyed this episode with you. I think we learned a lot from veganism to your for holistic living, better living, fitness, and all things in between. Thank you so much for giving us time to guest here on the Thoughtful Hour.
Thank you, Cassie.
Thanks, guys, for inviting me.
Stay safe.
Thank you to all the viewers. Thanks, Richie. Thanks, Pat. Yes, you guys keep safe as well. Hi, Richard. Hi to the viewers. Thank you for everyone for commenting and watching thoughtful hour. It was such a pleasure being on the show. Good thing we ran back into the office here at Current because it hasn't stopped pouring.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's it. It was meant to be. And now we have a better connection, and I'm glad that I was able to connect with you all. And thank you, Thoughtful. Thank you, Thoughtful. So yeah,
Yay,
guys.
thank you. We hope to see you soon, real soon, when everything is safe again.
I know, right? So yes, please do come visit here and visit our production studio here at Current here in La Union. We'll totally do a collab, and yeah,
Absolutely.
I send you guys good vibes from the Tides. Thank you for following and subscribing for those who have. And yes, subscribe and follow to Thoughtful as well. They're such an awesome group of people that helps us creators get to do what we love to do, our passion of sharing this content to the world. So thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Cassie.
Bye.
There's, grabe sir, ang dami kong natutunan. Who would have thought na mayroong vegan chicken skin and isaw and
That was the first time
lechon.
I heard about that. I heard
Ako rin, sir.
So I gotta admit, I've tried a few vegan dishes, and I only found out na vegan siya after I ate it. Smart, mautak yung mga sa akin eh. They told me it after.
Lalo na kayo, sir, alam ko, ano kayo eh, carnivore, di ba? Sabi niyo nga.
So, ano naman, I slowly naman I've been being more and more open to trying, eating more and more vegetables. Especially, sorry, hindi ka makanilate, no? Pero at my age, I have to be more careful, di ba? Medyo, I have a daughter na, so
Yes.
it's nice to go through Cassie's channel, the Veg on the Edge. And what's nice about it being that na ano siya, that she's just in La Union, the ingredients that she uses are stuff that are sourced locally. So hindi siya mahirap. Diba, you can get it sa palengke, stuff like that. There may be a few items that it's a specialty, pero on the whole, ano naman siya, very easy. And very creative. Yan ang masasabi ko. Incredibly creative.
Kaya again, for all of our viewers, please do not forget to check out Cassie's Instagram and YouTube account and check out their new channel, Veg on the Edge, to get to know more about vegan lifestyle, vegan food, and everything in between. And of course, please do not forget to like to Thoughtful TH's Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel para you could get to watch past episodes. And this coming Friday, actually, we have another guest, Marco Mars.
Ang
So
kilabot ng Cavite.
Yes. We'll be having him here on Friday. So again, please do not forget to stay tuned for that. For sure, another fun chikahan with another TMG creator. So that's it, sir. We wrapped up another episode. Thank you so much for hosting with me again. Eric is saying hi. Hi, Eric. Hello. We also scheduled Eric, pero surprise muna to our viewers kailan siya mag-guest, pero for sure mag-guest rin siya here. So Thoughtful Hour. There. Thank you so much, guys. Again, this has been Pat. And this has been Sir Richie hosting with me. Thank you, guys. See you on our next episode.